And this is me, Mayko.
And this is the very 26th episode of In the Zone. Alright. Today we'll be discussing the 26th episode, Execution. So yeah, check it out before you watch it on Netflix. You can pay for it on Hulu. I guess you have to pay for it on Netflix too.
Yeah.
Pay for the
That
DVDs.
was a great episode, though.
Yeah, that was
So let's get into the plot. So a cowboy
Actually, I
travels.
kind of hated it.
So a cowboy travels into the future and faces the consequences. Let's discuss. What did you think of it?
It was good.
Count, shut the fudgery up. Oh.
What did you
I
think?
thought it was a positive attitude. I thought it was good when they mixed up causes for taking away one being's life.
Right.
Even if it's a mosquito,
Exactly.
it still matters.
Right, and I thought it was good also. All right, so check us out. Next episode we'll be discussing the Big Tall Witch. We'll see you then. Oh, April Fool! You gotta see their faces. So now for the real deal, Execution. Let's talk about it. So we start. So this
How
cowboy.
was executed? The end.
All right, we already said April Fool.
Yes.
You can't do the same joke twice.
I don't know.
How about no one makes any jokes this episode?
What?
Yeah. A cowboy, Joe Caswell, is being hung or hanged. And so this priest is there.
And he's got a
Alright, April Fool's over. So Joe doesn't want the priest to read from the old Bible, and because he just wants to get it over with. And we learn he shot a guy in the back. And his dad's there, and he's like, I want it to be painful. The more
Well, the guy he shot's dad.
the guy who shot's dead. Right. His real dad.
Kill my son.
Right, and he's like, the more pain you have, the more justice I figure there is in the world. They whip the horse he's sitting on, and so that's like a cool kind of...
I'll be back.
So we're about, we've covered about 20 seconds of the episode so far.
The coolest part is when they hits the horse and shows the shadow of him, and then all of a sudden,
The shadow
He's like
disappears.
gone.
the shadow disappears. And
Like,
just the shadow, and you're
where
like,
is he?
There are a lot of different Twilight Zone episodes that involve hanging, and there are a bunch of different methods for hanging. And this is kind of a cool one. It's like an old-timey one. They sit on a horse and they whip it. Back to basics.
It's like a tree.
Right, he's hanging from a tree. Everyone is confused as to why he disappeared, because that's kind of weird. So then we fade to black. Then Joe is waking up in this strange place, and this guy's there, and he tells him to relax. He explains he's in NYC, but 80 years after his last memory. And his last memory was 1880, so it's in Twilight Zone time in 1960. He shows him the time machine, very cool time machine.
yeah.
And his neck is all wet. Like, you can see
That's
the
because
blood.
there's a rope on it.
I know!
But maybe he was sweaty.
Sweaty faces!
Sweaty
Of
neck.
course he was sweating. Have you ever been hanged before?
Yeah! Ooh, I thought of a new Zonies category, best fight scene. Because there are two in this one. And there are two good fight scenes in this one, and there are a couple of fight scenes in
I
other
think
episodes.
the best one in this one was the second one.
The second one was
they
really
were like
good.
kind of fighting back.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like good
And
stunt
a
work.
glass broke.
Five times in this episode.
Five.
That's
How
the
the-
most in any episode so far. It's crazy. The scientist explains that he is the first time traveler in
It
history.
doesn't make sense. So he never tested his time machine, but a guy just suddenly appeared in it.
No, he said he reached through time for the guy.
So he just like reaches into his booth and like, oh yeah.
And now, why is that rope magic? Is that rope a time machine too? Is it like a time portal because it's like a hole and you can go through it?
No, but then just his head would go through it. Or
That's another episode. He goes, ooh, ooh, and he's rolling around.
and he goes, hey yo, hey,
He breaks glass
give
with
me
his
some of
head.
that.
And then he tries to shoot someone, but he can't. He's like, I don't know. The scientist notices the rope around his neck. The scientist is talking into his old
the
scientist
scientist-
recorder. So he says that Joe told him that he was riding cattle when he blacked out and appeared there.
Yeah, and obviously
Yeah,
it's a lie.
Yeah, and the guy kind of knows too.
Yeah, since he's smart.
Right.
And he's like
yeah, he's a
talking to his
scientist.
walkie-talkie. He's like, I saw rope marks around
It's
his
not a
neck.
walkie-talkie. It's a record.
Whatever.
So he said, as for the rope, Joe had no explanation for it. He's like, I don't know. And so the guy, what's his name? The scientist, we never learned his name. But the scientist says, I don't like his looks. And he's like, what have I done? I've taken this 19th century primitive into a 20th century jungle.
He like comes into the room and he's all what? He looks like he's about to like kill him or something.
And so the scientist gives him a cigarette with a lighter, and he's like that's fire from the air. he has the worst voice. It might be the.
He didn't even look like a cowboy. Like he blended in with the rest of the crowd.
Yeah.
Not really. He didn't have a suit.
I guess.
So
A suit. Man in a suit. Man in a suit.
Joe wants to look at the world outside, so the scientist opens up the window, and it's like, ah! And it horrifies Joe. It's so
and he like
loud.
covers his ear. But it wasn't even
it was outside a window.
like a gunshot from the old guns that were a lot louder than that.
Perhaps.
No,
The ancient guns.
And so the scientist.
Sorry, that was just like
Rather impressive. So the scientist says that although the technology has changed, some concepts don't change, such as right and wrong. And he's like, do you know about right and wrong? So he said, like, a guy tried to beat it into my neck, the subject of right and wrong. And he's like, well, what about justice? And he said, your justice came for you at the end of the rope. And then Joe has this cool speech that's like, justice, right and wrong. These words sound good next to a soft bed.
Sounds like kind of twists your way, like of what you. I don't know.
Joe ends his speech and he's like, I try to say I'm right and wrong and justice when you're an ice cold mesa. The guy said, you know, I need to give you your justice. You need to go back in that time machine.
just send him back in his sleep. Because what do you think the guy's gonna do? Not kill him?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I saw that coming forever. Oh.
Right. And he takes a lamp, our first of 5 glass breaks.
He's like, shh. But then he's like he's satisfied with it and he hears a tape recorder.
And he thinks he's a ghost, so he runs away.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't like his looks, that part. So then he runs away, fade to black. Then he's outside, and we see some familiar signs.
And he's running, like, through the thing.
And the signs from The Four of Us Are Dying, remember that episode? All the signs are there, like the Oasis, Water
Club.
Club.
It looks like a sign shop.
Yeah.
And then he was all like, whoa. And then he goes in the phone booth, and she's like, cents, 25 cents. And he's like,
he's like,
got 20 bucks,
and then
that's more money.
And then it closes, and he's like,
he's trying to get out. He goes through the, it's so satisfying.
He dives, like,
wow.
No, he breaks through the back. His back breaks through.
We'll show a clip. Okay. Very impressive, young man. He walks into a bar and he's confused by the jukebox. So, like every other thing's that confuse him, he breaks it, and it's our 3rd glass break.
he's like, what's that?
No, but he grabbed it, he was like, duh. And the guy's like, he was like, duh, then he grabbed the chair.
Whoa.
Ah.
I think we might show a clip instead. So then the bartender's like, you've got to pay for that, and he's all mad. But then he kind of like backs off when he like puts his gun down.
Yeah.
And so he gives him a bottle and he drinks from the bottle like an old cowboy.
What was the cap? But
Yeah, because he doesn't realize
break.
how the cap works.
Right. So then he's like, what's that? Is that a window or something? And he's pointing at the TV. And so the guy's like, I'll give you a demonstration. And they're at the channel where all the characters talk to the camera.
Before that, he's like, here, take 2 bottles and go home and sleep. Which is very nice, because those bottles are hugely expensive.
They're very big.
If you want someone to get some rest, why would you give them a ton of alcohol?
So they go to sleep, sir.
Oh, yeah.
And they wouldn't,
There they go. And so then there's a cowboy conveniently, and he says, all right, hombre, make your move. And so the guy, naturally, shoots the TV, our 4th glass break of the episode. And the guy's like, all right, you've done it this time. So he goes,
police, but like no police would actually hear him.
yeah. He eventually gets back to the apartment, and then the lights turn on. This robber comes in, and he sees the dead guy, so he assumes that he's another robber. And then they get into a big old robber fight, and it's such a good fight scene.
Yeah, but the robber. And there is our 5th glass break, everybody. That's all the glass breaks in the episode.
Because the guy almost falls out of the window, which would have been a classic Twilight Zone thing. He doesn't, but he breaks it, and then the new robber, strangles him like the rope with like a window thing.
Curtain.
Yeah.
I don't know why, this just made me think of Donald Trump at a Renaissance festival.
After he gets killed, the robber's looking around, and he accidentally turns on the time machine. He goes in it to check it
before
out.
that, he's like checking everything.
Right.
And I really
File
thought
cabinets.
the other guy would wake up and hit him.
Oh, he didn't.
I really thought that.
But he gets to the time machine, and the door closes, and he's like, "Hey!" This appears. His shadow appears in the rope, and everyone's like, "What the heck?"
And he's actually the one, so he's the one being hanged.
Very cool, and everyone, it's so cool because they're like, "Did we just hang an innocent man?"
And they're like, "I hope not."
It's
Sure
like,
God, I
but it's
hope
like,
not.
but and then it's like it's both justice because the other man was like a bad guy too, but not as bad.
Yeah, and then there's a very cool outro that's like, "Justice can span 1,000 years or whatever, maybe 100, because
Take
that's what it was."
but it was actually
Retribution is not subject to a calendar. So that's the episode. So what did you think, Calvin?
I give it a.
Wait, whoa! I asked, what did you think? How did you like it?
It was really good. It was different from a lot of the other ones we've seen.
Yeah, it's cool. So what did you think of it, Mayko? Did you like it? Did you dislike it?
okay. Well, I thought it was good, but then Calvin said that, and
Yes.
so it was mediocre, but we had 5 glass breaks.
Also, there were 3 deaths. So that's a lot of deaths, a lot of glass breaks.
Oh, yeah.
Very...
No. 4. He shot the guy in the taxi cab.
Right.
He
That person might have died. So, yeah, it was super entertaining. What were some of the problems with it?
You could
I
see
know.
like all the things coming. It would have been better if when he disappeared from the rope, he was like a ghost or something, and had to like suffer his like consequence.
Did you find any flaws?
Other than what Mayko just said, no.
I thought it was good. I didn't think there were many
Wait,
flaws
but
or any
remember
flaws
the
really.
bench one where she saw herself in the mirror?
Right.
Like double herself? What did I give that one? 10 out of 10?
You gave the one a 9.5.
Or can I give this one a 10 out of 10?
You gave the mirror image way too high of a rating. Just because it is this.
Fine, 9.5 out of 10.
No, I don't want to influence your rating. Just not based on just what do you give this episode.
9.5.
Well,
Are you
hey,
sure? Not a 10?
It wasn't the most.
I don't want to influence you.
It wasn't the most.
Fine, 9.8.
That's a 9.5 or 10 out of 10. You have to choose one.
Well,
Oh,
okay. How about
you can think about it.
Well,
What are you doing?
Alright.
how about I go in the meantime?
10 out of 10.
No.
10 out of 10.
No, that's not. That doesn't count.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't the most exciting, but it made you want to watch more Twilight Zone.
I thought it was
episodes.
super exciting. There was a ton of cool stuff that was going on.
I know,
Yeah.
but it went by too quickly. So
Maybe.
I'm going to give it a well-planned 2. Just kidding.
Oh.
April Fools. 8. B minus.
8 out of 10. So, what are you gonna give this episode?
What do you give it, Rowan?
Oh yeah, I'll talk about it.
9.5.
Wow.
Oh, that's a high rater.
I like this
Better
episode.
than you.
I'm the bad cop.
Right. I like this episode. Not that
No,
much.
you're gonna give it like an 8.5 or 9.
I think I'm a lot harsher because here's what I think. If it's
Oh, yeah, it's your show, and the main
Right.
guy in these like in these
always the
talent,
mean one.
he's
I'm the
always
mean
the
one.
heartbreaker.
I thought that there weren't any flaws, which was really good. I thought the structure was pretty cool. That the
Yeah.
first half was him talking.
It was
second
wicked,
half was
bro.
the second half was him running around.
I like the cowboy parts better.
Oh, like the Old West, and I love the ending where they're like, "Did we seriously just kill an innocent man?" It's so cool. I didn't think the acting was all that great. And you know what? I think I am going to. It's a tough one. It's gonna be a
Wait, we actually have a drum over here.
no. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5. So it's a pretty high-rated episode.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Not as good as
The
20,000 feet.
I-
20,000 feet. Nightmare of 20,000 feet was one of my favorites.
Well, good for
No, my favorite
it.
two monsters are doing Maple Street.
All right.
I hated that one.
I love that one.
I loved it.
I love this. Good debate. So, next episode is going to be the 27th episode of In the Zone and the Twilight Zone. It's the Big Tall Wish. We'll see you then. Bye.